Hey, everybody. Good evening. It's Justice for Comics. What's going on? It's the Thursday night comics live stream. Going to be going over um, different books to take a look at. We'll look at cover prices, uh, top 20. Is it 20 list? I think it's a top 10 list. We'll look at their top 10 list. Some books that have been mentioned in the last few weeks. There's a couple new ones on there this week, so thought I would highlight that. I'm also going to highlight some spec to talk about upcoming movies in 2024 and in 2025. Some characters, some updated news on the movie front. So we'll go over that. Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about. Check the chat real quick just to do some intros. We got Luis Ramirez 504 in the chat. We got Mad Mike's Comics. And we got GTK Comic. Beautiful. All right. We got a small audience. Maybe that will grow as time goes on here. Let's jump into the cover price list here first. This came out just a few days ago, 18th. Start with number 10. This was on CBSI's top 10 list last week. I went over that already. Wolverine number 55, the Greg Land cover. Just a great cover. Kind of hard to get in a 9.8 because it's got some dark black spots on the cover, some dark areas on the cover. Kind of easy to show spine ticks, all that good news. This book came out a while ago too. What was it, 2000 and what year was that? It came out in 2015, 16. It was a while ago. I'm going to get my eBay pulled up here too while I'm remembering. Yeah, it's an homage. I forgot to mention it the other day. It's an homage to that Suspense Stories number 22. That's the cover swipe, or homage, as they say. Death of Sabretooth in that issue. Of course, no one ever dies. They bring him back. Yeah, 2007. Man, 2007. God, that's a long time ago. Wow. Jesus. I remember buying that. Yeah, I was collecting that entire run, actually, of Wolverine. Yeah, well, let me. GTK Comic, he wants to talk. Last time I asked, I promise. Oh, the Torpedo Comics. Oh my God. Yeah, this is the last time we're covering this, GT. The the Frank Miller J. Scott Campbell secret variant. Rafi says, reach out to them. They're processing it. There you go. It's hard to. Sometimes these online comic book shops can be difficult to contact. There's a couple of them that I've tried to buy comic books from in the past, and they don't return phone calls. They don't respond to emails, and after that, I don't ever do any business with them again. So that's a good rule of thumb. If you got a comic book shop that won't respond after repeated efforts to contact them, don't ever deal with them again. Never buy a comic book from them again. Basically, you need to blacklist them. And I've done that with several shops, online stores. The good ones will respond to you and give you good customer service. The bad ones won't. Stay away from the bad ones. Simple as that. So GTK Comic, I hope you get your books, but that should be a good lesson to you. Don't ever deal with Torpedo Comics again. Simple. There you go. I saved you a lot of time and aggravation. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones that cost you money. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way. All right, so Wolverine 55, Greg Land. Yeah, 2007. You could probably get a copy for like $30 to $40, maybe less, depending on condition, if you want a raw copy. you want a high grade copy, you're going to have to, especially a graded copy, you're going to be spending a little bit more money. As I'm looking on eBay right now, I see some 9.8 CBCS. I don't see any CGC though, 9.8s. Looks like a 9.8 is probably going to be at least $250. There's a buy it now for $250 on a 9.8, but it's again CBCS. I know some people don't like anything other than CGC. So you're probably going to be paying a little bit more for a CGC graded book of that issue. I don't know if they have any right now, CGC 9.8s on eBay. Let me see if they do. Oh yeah, they do. Oh man, the price varies. You've got $394. Looks like there's 2 copies only. Now there's 3 copies. One of them is a signature series signed by Greg Land. And that one's, they're asking $800 for. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a little bit of money. I don't think Greg Land's signature is worth that much at all. You can get a regular blue label 9.8 for about $400, $394 plus $18 shipping from Canada. So there you go, GTK Comic. If you've always wanted that book in a 9.8, there is a seller on eBay from Canada that will sell it to you for about $400. And then there's another 9.8 asking $800, basically $795 free shipping. So yeah, that book is it's going for a pretty penny right now. They don't mention any CGC. High sale of $204 for a CGC 9.8 copy. Yeah, that's long gone. People are trying to capitalize on that book right now. So the cheapest I saw on eBay was basically $400, which is double what that $204 copy sold for. So there you go. That book is on the move. Number 9, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, issue 2. I read that issue. I am getting issue number 1. I ordered the 1 in 50. I bought a CGC 9.8 for the 1 in 50. I don't know if I think this series is really, really good. It's got a very interesting feel to it. I think it could be something that gets developed into, maybe a cartoon. It's not going to be a live action. God, enough of these live actions. I'd like to see it like I'd like to see Adult Swim do like a rendition of this book in cartoon form. I think that would be fantastic. So I do think that issue number 1, that 1 in 50, that is such a ghost book. There's been some sales in the last month on eBay. All of them are about double ratio. I think the cheapest I saw was around $80 or $90 for that 1 in 50. So I bought a raw copy for $200. Not a raw copy, a 9.8, a graded CGC 9.8 for $200 for the 1 in 50. So I haven't read the first issue. I'm going to get the second printing of issue number 1, but I did read issue 2, and yeah, it was good. It's pretty gruesome, especially what happens at the end to the Miss Piggy right there. That's on the cover. I won't spoil it, but it's a pretty good book. It's a good read. Luis Ramirez says they're probably delayed. Rafi says, yeah, a lot of manufacturers are still dealing with delays since COVID, some with Kickstarters and other small companies producing their own products. They'll update you once they have the books. Yep, you'll just have to be patient. Kickstarter, yeah, I mean, it's Indiegogos and Kickstarters. They tend to sometimes take a while. There was what was it? A couple years ago, I bought a Kickstarter, and I spent pretty good money on it. One of the covers was done by Kel No. I'll have to look and find out. Can't remember the name of the book, but man, it took like a year and a half to get those books. It took a long time. Uh, I don't know. You're dealing with some disorganization, maybe you're dealing with problems with the printers. There's all kinds of moving parts to making a comic book. Um, some are better at it than others. I know Coffin Comics does a lot of Kickstarters. They're very good. They tend to meet their deadlines when they tell you that they're going to send out a book. That's when they do it. So they've been very successful because of that. So keep that in mind when you're buying into a promotion item or a Kickstarter or something where it's not being issued on a pre-ordered basis like most of the comic books that we buy today. You'll just have to be patient. Not easy to do. GTK Comic just needs to learn some patience. Yeah, it was a secret. Yeah, I know, coupon program, not a Kickstarter. But again, it's being done by a shop. What's the difference? I mean, it's just like a Kickstarter, isn't it? They're waiting on somebody to fulfill the artwork. They had to send it out to the printers. It's not a normally published comic book. So it's just like a Kickstarter. I would view it exactly the same. I submitted to, okay, so Rafi's waiting as well. So there you go. I gave up. I think I collected 2 or 3 of those issues. I think you had to collect 5 of them, maybe. I only collected 2 or 3, and I just lost interest. So, and to be honest, I'm not that excited about a Frank Miller or a J. Scott Campbell cover, anyways. And yeah, maybe I'm not saying there's not going to be value to them. If it's a limited print run, only so many people took the time to do that and mail in the coupons and all that bullshit. I'm not saying that there's not value there. I'm just not a huge fan of those artists anyways. So it's not something that I was going to chase down all that hard. All right, so back to our list here. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I highly recommend it. I read the second issue. I thought it was really, really good. It entertained me the whole time. I can see why this is a hot commodity, a hot comic book right now. Issue 1 sold out pretty much everywhere. I think even the A cover for issue 1 goes for $15 to $20 now. Yeah, there's a couple. I think there was an A and B cover, and I think there was a 1 in 25 version of the A cover. And then there's that 1 in 50, which is super hard to find. And I remember seeing it at Midtown, and I could have bought it off Midtown, and I passed on it. And that was stupid. I do that once in a while. All right, number 8 is a book we just talked about. I just mentioned this on my CBSI review. They had this as their number 1 book from last week, Justice League number 1. First appearance of Maxwell Lord, who obviously was in the Wonder Woman 1984 movie. I didn't care for that movie that much. I thought it was pretty poor. It certainly was not near as good as the first Wonder Woman movie. I was definitely disappointing. Pedro Pascal is a good actor. I like him in certain roles, certain characters. Game of Thrones, the Red Viper. I mean, he was fantastic in that character. I like him as the Mandalorian. I think he's very good in that. I like him in The Last of Us. I think he did a great job. He's a good actor, a very solid actor. I didn't like him as Maxwell Lord. I think it just seemed weird. I don't know. I didn't care for him as Maxwell Lord. And I think most people would agree with that. I don't remember the reviews being all that fantastic. But this is a book that's probably tough to get in 9.8 just because it's a white cover. White covers are easily blemished. It's easy to get a scuff or a mark on them. So getting that in a 9.8 might be somewhat challenging. Yeah, it's just one of those books that it's good to have in the collection. I bought it years ago for pretty cheap. I think I paid maybe $10 for it. I've got a high grade copy, and now it's going for about, very fine copies selling around 20. 9/8's going around 200, maybe a little bit more than that now since this list came out. Number 7 on the list is Godzilla, number 1. I highlighted that book as well on my CBSI review. I have 2 copies of that book, both in pretty high grade. 9/8s are going for about $450. Raws are about $58 to $60. Yeah, it's a great book to have in your collection. First appearance of Godzilla in comics. And that Godzilla -1 movie has done well. I'm gonna have to watch. I don't know where to watch it though. I'm a streamer. I don't know if they have it on Amazon Prime yet, or net. I don't. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be on Netflix. I know that. Maybe HBO has it. I'll have to take a look and see where it's streaming. If anybody knows where it's streaming, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's a movie I'd like to see. I've heard it's really, really good, and it's done well at the box office. It didn't cost a whole lot to make, and it's just very, very profitable. You know, the exact opposite of what Disney does these days. They spend 20 times as much for their movie, and they can't even break even. So I think the movie business, I think you're better off kind of being like a small. Keep it small, keep it inexpensive. Don't hire a bunch of really expensive actors. Instead, center on a great story, and people will go to it. So yeah, that comic book is on the move, man. I'm glad I got 2 copies. One of them I probably should get graded at. So I think I have one that's definitely a 9/8 candidate. Number 6, boy, this is a book I remember from back in the day. Was it 1997 when that book came out? Look at that. Was it $1.25 cover price? Beautiful. X-Men Adventures number 1. Cool cover. Wolverine, Gambit, Jubilee, Cyclops. You got Professor X, Storm, and Rogue in the background. Just a cool looking cover. 9/8 selling about 162 at the moment. Near mints, raw, about $25. So there you go. I probably had that book at one time. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I sold it or some of those early X-Men books I had and didn't have. I don't know. I know I had that book at one time, but yeah, it's not in the collection at the moment. Number 5, we just mentioned this, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. This is the number 1A cover. Raws, again, I mentioned it. Raws are selling around $20 to $22. That 1 in 50 is the one to get. That one is super rare. Most shops did not order a lot on this, so that white cover. I saw one listing on eBay for $120. A couple days ago, so I don't know if that's still up if someone bought it, but man, that's probably a good price. I think this series is going to do really, really well. I could see it going to a second volume. And I see that 1 in 50 being a very, very hard to find coveted book. Now, who doesn't like a serial killer bear, right? In a story with all these animals. It's kind of like Winnie the Pooh gone bad. It's really what it is. All right, number 4 is Spawn number 1. This book's been on every list over the years. It's an iconic book. Super, super heavily printed. That's why it's always around $20 to $30 for a raw copy. There we go. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Hold on a second here. All right, can everybody hear me? Hopefully you can. I got this new headset. I just charged it, but I think what happens is it's duly connected to my phone, and it's connected to my laptop, and I need to turn the phone off because I think it toggles back and forth between my phone and my laptop. So I just turned off the Bluetooth on my phone, so we should be good now. Again, Spawn. What was the print run? Originally 2 million copies. One of the best-selling comic books of all time. I think X-Men number 1. that Jim Lee, all the 5 covers. I think that's still the #1 selling book of all time. I think Spawn is definitely a close second at 2 million copies. So there's lots and lots of copies out there. At one time I think I had like 25 copies of it. I don't have any original copies. I sold them all. I sold them all. I bought them all for cover price. And man, I think when that Spawn movie came out, I can't remember what the raws were going for then. Probably close to $50. But I sold a bunch of them. I made really good money on Spawn #1. I even had back in the day, Walmart had these sealed, plastic sealed cases of 1 through 4, and they were sold by Walmart of Spawn #1. I had like 10 of those. Man, I wish I had at least kept one because I've not seen anybody sell that online in years and years ago. I'd be interested to see what that even goes for if someone still had those sealed in the Walmart casing. But yeah, the Walmart had those for sale. They were like issues 1 through 4, sealed in a plastic case. So I had like 10 of those or something like that. It was crazy. All right, #3. I like this cover. I bought it last night. I pulled the trigger. I found I found somebody that just listed it. Buy it now for $50. I pulled the trigger, so with shipping, it'll be like $58. So I paid a little bit more than the $55. It says fair market value of 44. Unless there's all of a sudden a bunch of people listing this book, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a tough book to find now. I think a lot of people are clued into it. I just like the cover. I mean, that was a total cover buy from me. Street Fighter Masters. It's the Udon variant, I think it is, Kimberly. Oh, there's one that just listed for $52. Free shipping. That's a good deal. There's a couple auctions that have 2 to 3 days left. There's another buy it now for $57 plus $5 shipping, so you're looking at about $62. Yeah, that's it. There's like 4 copies for sale only on eBay. I think 3 auctions maybe. Well, there's maybe 5 for sale. Yeah, 5. But somebody just listed this is the secret appreciation variant. It's just a cool looking cover. I like it. So if you're interested, there is a new listing on eBay. Just popped up for $52 free shipping. That's a little bit better deal than I got. I think I paid like $58 with shipping. So that's a pretty good deal, $52. I like the cover. I think long term, this is going to be a book that people want just because it's Street Fighter and it's just a really cool cover. What's the artist name? Inkpot. Good old Inkpot. What a name. #2 on the list is Taylor Swift. Swiftie, for all the Swiftie fans out there. Female Force. #1. This is the homage to Dazzler #1, obviously. $20. I don't know that there's any slabbed copies out there, but you know, all things Taylor Swift. And #1 is another Taylor Swift book. Are they the same book? Original costume? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on here. It's that good that it's got the first 2 spots in the list. Okay. All right, #11. Runner-ups, we've got "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." I talked about this book on the CBSI Hot 10 list. Yeah, it's a one shot, a 1 in 25. Most shops aren't going to order enough of these, so I'm not surprised it's selling about $50. Midtown had it on there for a while. I think a couple days it was available for $36. So they had it priced above ratio. So unless you pre-ordered this at ratio pricing a long time ago, most people were probably paying $36 or more for the most part. And there were not a lot of copies for sale on eBay prior to that Midtown release. Number 12 is Stray Dogs. This was a hot book at one time. Wasn't this a really hot book at some point? Where I think this was going like graded copies were going for like $500. Raw copies, I think, were selling around 75 to 80. I think at one time. I could be mistaken, but I think I remember it was a hot book for a little while. It's a good story. It's a great read. Definitely recommend picking that up in trade paperback form. If you want to just read a good story, you got innocent dogs, you got a serial killer. It's pretty cool. It's a good read. Highly recommend it. I do have a couple Stray Dog floppies from back in the day. I think some of them were exclusive covers through certain shops. I got one that's like an homage to the It movie. It's kind of a weird cover. At one time it was going for good money. I don't know if it still is. I haven't paid attention. Number 13 is Amazing Spider-Man 300. Obviously, this is a key book. A lot of people have this in their collection. I have one right here behind me, I think, right? Yeah, here's my copy. Nice, nice high-grade newsstand copy. It's got one small little noticeable spine tick. That's it. One small one. Other than that, I would say this is either a 9.2 or a 9.4 copy newsstand. It's probably not a 9.6 or a 9.8, but solid 9.4. I think that would be the best grade it would get, would be a 9.4. But just a nice looking copy and newsstand. I think I paid around $300 for this book back in the day. So yeah, just who doesn't want to have Venom's first appearance, right? That's a classic book to have in your collection. I think that's always a book that you should be looking to add. Try to find a good deal for it. Manny says Gmart had the 1 in 50 Beneath the Trees, number 1. I didn't buy it because it's Gmart. There you go. Yeah, when you have a bad experience with a shop, that will tend to put you off from buying from them again. There's no doubt about that. I have a feeling GTK Comic will never buy another comic book from Torpedo Comics again. I just have that feeling. I don't know. But a 9.8 raw copy, a 9.8 just sold for $3,000. That's pretty high. And a raw copy sells for about $591, near mint raw copy. So yeah, I'd say I doubled my money. I paid around $300 for my copy, and now it sells around double that. Well, probably more. Mine would probably be more because it's a newsstand, right? A near mint newsstand's probably going to be around 800 to 1,000 raw. I would think at least that much. Another Venom book here, 14, is Venom Lethal Protector number 1. Raw copies around 20 to 25 bucks. 9.8 will set you back about 150. There is, of course, also that blacked out cover. Boy, that doesn't come up for sale very often. Let me see if there's one for sale on eBay right now. Venom Lethal Protector number 1. Yeah, black cover. Ooh, there is. There's an auction with a starting bid. Starting bid is $3,099. 6 days left on the auction, and it's $119 for shipping. Ah, Lord, $119 for shipping. Whew. There is a 9.8 graded copy of the black cover, the black air cover, asking $14,250. Man, holy crap! That's definitely a rare book. Another 9.8 for $12,980. That seems like a good deal compared to the one for $14,000. There's a 9.0 for $5,000. There's a 9.8 signature series by McFarlane. There's also a sketched Wow, this is crazy. There's a sketch by Mark Bagley and Del Rosa on the cover with a signature by Todd McFarlane asking 37,500. Oh, whew. That's a lot of my 37,000. Think of what book you could buy for $37,000. It wouldn't be that. I wouldn't be buying a Venom book. I can tell you that much. Oh my God, $37,000. That's sick. Cheers, everyone. Christmas is upon us. Hopefully, everyone is having a good holiday. Tomorrow is the last day of school for my kids. And yeah, should be a good weekend. GTK Comic asks, I would like to do a pair of CGC CBCS submission videos, one before video where you predict grades and one after the video where you unbox a video request. You got some grails. Ooh, yeah, that would be fun to do. I definitely am partial to CGC. I've gotten stuff graded from them before. Yeah, like to see those disappointing videos. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big, as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know, I'm not a huge proponent of grading. I don't grade a lot of my books, mainly because my viewpoint is if I buy a raw copy of a book and I'm really happy with the condition it's in, I put it in a nice MyLite. You know, I've had books in my MyLites for many, many years. I don't handle them or touch them. You know, once they go in the MyLite, I basically don't touch them again. So they're never really handled. They're always in an air-conditioned box or room. You know, if I have them up on the wall like I do here, I've got a room where the shade's down. There's no sunlight coming in, so they're not getting any UV rays. Of course, the MyLites do protect somewhat against UV rays as well. I'm just not a big proponent of grading books. I do buy graded books occasionally. Here's one that I just posted on Instagram not too long ago. I bought this one. It was an auction and no one was really bidding on it. It was a late night auction and I scooped it up for under $200. This is a very, very rare Ginny Frizen book. This is Vampirilla #7 from 2014 and it's signed. It's a signature series signed by Frizen. And I've seen raw copies of this book in the past sell between $400 to $500. So the fact that I got a graded copy signed for under $200, it was a pretty good deal. Just no one else was paying. You know, this end of the year is a good time to buy comic books. I just bought this about a month ago. So a lot of people near the end of the year just don't pay attention. They're not really looking to buy. They're looking to save up to buy presents for Christmas. So they're not really doing a lot of comic book purchasing, and a lot of times you can get really good deals this time of year. So yeah, that was one that, yeah, I was happy to get that one. I like it. That's a tough book to get in high grade, anyways, because it's all black cover. Yeah, it's tough. And Dynamite Entertainment doesn't always use the best paper. That was kind of a very wavy type paper that they used. This is another one I got recently. I don't know if I've shown it or not. I probably have. I know I may have posted it on my Instagram. Highlander #0. We got that Highlander movie coming out, so that's one of the things I want to talk about. Henry Cavill is supposedly going to be cast as the main character. What the hell is his name? I can't remember his name, the Highlander character. Duncan MacLeod. I think his name's Duncan MacLeod. Yeah. So Henry Cavill is going to be cast as Duncan MacLeod. This book is going to get hot. This is a super tough book to find. This is the RRP, the rare retailer printed edition. Remember, I think this was like a 25-cent book when it came out, the number 0, but you had to order so many. I think it was like you had to order 1,000 copies to get one of these. So this is a tough book to find. I've only seen this one copy. By the way, this one CGC slab has changed hands 3 times in the last 6 months. I'm the final purchaser of this. The guy I bought it from, I paid $350 for it. The guy I bought it from paid $300, so he made $50 plus the eBay fees. He's probably only making like $25 off this book. I don't know why he must have needed the money for Christmas. I bought this a couple months, a month and a half ago. And the guy before him, I think, sold it to him. Yeah, he sold it to him for $300, and I think he bought it around $250. So it's changed hands 3 times this year. This one book, this one graded book. But try to find this book out there. Try to find a raw copy, let alone a graded copy. This is going to be a book that I think could explode in value. If that movie comes out, I don't know. We'll see. You just never know. You never know with the movie spec, right? Here's another graded book that Jenny Frison signed, metal variant of Red Sonja #1. Just an awesome cover by Frison. And I got a decent deal on this one. So I do buy graded books. I just don't grade my own books very often. I think I'm too afraid of being disappointed. I think that's one of the reasons. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. And I do have 2 copies of that Zatanna. This was the Adam Hughes New York Comic Con exclusive variant. Apparently they only made 50 of these. I got 2 of the 50. So, yep, that's just a classic cover. Love having that in the collection. I've got the original too in raw form, and it's probably a 9.6. I don't think it's a 9.8. It's probably a 9.6. Great, if I got it graded. But I only grade books if I really intend to sell them, to try to optimize the value, and I don't sell too many comic books that I really love. I want to just hold on to them. I've had a Hulk 181 in the past. I had a 9.6 White Pages that I sold years ago. I always regret it. So I don't sell the books I really, really love anymore. I kind of just hold on to them. That taught me a valuable lesson. Who knows? Maybe that book will get cheap one day. Number 15 on the list, the Art Adams Venom 28. I did pick this up. I think I got it for around $25. Selling for about 45 now. Yeah, there's a lot of Art Adams fans. I don't normally love Art Adams covers, but I think this one's pretty good. He does a good job with Venom here. Just the exaggerated tongue, the teeth. It's just kind of a cool cover. So that was one that I picked up. I'm not going to say that I dislike Art Adams. I think he's a very good artist. I just don't care a lot of times for the style of the artwork. This one I like though. So this was one he did one a couple years ago, Darth Maul, that I really liked, and I missed getting that. I kind of regretted not picking that up because I thought that was just a good cover. So I do like his covers here and there, not all the time, but once in a while. Number 16 is Dazzler. Yeah, spec about Taylor Swift showing up. Is Deadpool 3 maybe? Yeah, we'll see what happens. That might happen. Number 17 is New Mutants number 98. I've got that on the wall right here. I've got my 9.6 graded copy. Newsstand version. I paid originally $400 for this. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. I think at least 3 years ago, maybe 4. It was a while ago. I think at the time the 9.8s were going now, not 9.8 newsstand, but I think the 9.8 direct copies were selling around $1,000 to $1,200, which I think now they're selling around $2,000, right? 1,800 to $2,000. But this one was a deal because I got it for $400 and it was a newsstand copy, and normally the direct copies were selling around $400. So I think the eBay seller I bought it from did not really. I don't think he knew that the newsstand copy was really far more rare. So yeah, I kind of picked that up at least $150 cheaper than it should have been back when I bought it. Now, of course, it's about an $800 book right now. I would say easily 800 for a newsstand copy, maybe 900. So that book's done okay. That's done well. Not bad. Let me get back to the list. So there you go. Rob Liefeld's been making some news here lately with some of his comments. Some people don't like what he's saying, especially the SJWs. I love it. I love it when you ruffle the feathers of the comic book elite out there. I think it's hilarious. All right, number 18 is The Punisher. Number 1, this was the regular. I think this is the regular series, right? Not the. I think there was that 4-issue miniseries. This was the regular series that started. Jim Lee. I think Jim Lee did the art on that one. Yeah, that's an old book. What you got to go back to? Was it early 90s, late 80s? No, I think it was late 80s when this book came out. I didn't know this book was going up. The 9.8. 9.8 is going for about 300. And a raw near mint value went for 362. That seems a little high. I don't know. Yeah. Disney. Why is this book on the list? Disney announced that John Berthnall's Punisher would return to the MCU in Daredevil Born Again. However, until the bloodier and grittier Echo trailer debuted, fans were still uncertain that Disney would give the Punisher his due diligence. Now reassured, his first solo series is generating heat. After all, it is much easier a book to obtain than Amazing Spider-Man 129. That is true. Man, I remember almost buying an Amazing Spider-Man 129 9.8 white pages. I remember looking at one at the time. This is a long time ago. This is probably 15 years ago, maybe longer, at least 15 years ago. I remember looking at a copy, a 9.8 graded CGC copy, and I think I could have bought it for about a little over $2,000 for a 9.8. Yeah, so that tells you how long ago. What was a 9.8 Amazing 129 go for now? Way more than $2,000. But yeah, I remember it. I didn't buy it. I ended up passing on it. Oh well. Yeah, I'd have a little bit more money in comics if I paid more attention to that. Rafi says he loves the Adam Good Girl covers. Of course, who doesn't? I collect those. There's a nice X-23 covering dropping for Wolverine number 42. Excellent. Do they have a picture of that out yet, Rafi? I'll have to see if they Wolverine 42. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I see the Art Adams cover, the 1 in 25. Very nice. Yeah, there's already people on eBay asking $60 to $70 for that book. Indeed. All right, that's one to keep an eye on. Thank you for that tip. I may have to look for that one. That does look pretty good. I like it. All right, so we talked about the Punisher. This is a book I have in my collection. I think I have a couple copies actually. Number 19 is Mad Max Fury Road Furiosa. I still love that movie, man. That was a crazy ass movie. I mean, that was just. Remember that guy playing the guitar and he had no eyes or something. That was just a. That was just a crazy movie. I don't know. And those hot model chicks that this guy was banging and putting kids into. It was just a crazy movie. Charlize, how do you say her name? Charlize Theron? I can't pronounce her name. Do you notice I have a problem pronouncing people's names? This book's on fire. There's a trailer for a new Mad Max movie. I've not seen the trailer yet. I'm going to have to go look at it. The film will focus on the saga of Furiosa, starring fan favorite Anya Taylor-Joy. The trailer opened to an overwhelming positive reaction, creating tons of hype for a new installment of the Mad Max universe. Since the trailer's debut, the first appearance of Furiosa has become a fast-moving item on the aftermarket. We tracked 14 copies last 7 days, up 105%. A high sale of $160 for a 9.8 and a current raw near mint market value of $21. All right, I think I got 2 copies of that book. Got to dig them out of a box. I know I've got them in a box somewhere. Next one, number 20, last on the list here of the runner-ups is Monster in My Pocket. That seems very sexually suggestive. Monster in My Pocket. I mean, what are you going to say? I don't have a monster in my pocket. Sounds like a porn title. I don't know. Yeah, monster in my pocket. All right. What is this? This looks like an old book. 1989. Okay. Former Mattel executives Joe Morrison and John Weems. They launched a massive toy collection. This development is not in its first crossover, as has been an animated specials, comic books, and Nintendo game. The news of this series has already moved this book into our top 10 list last week. Not near mint copy going for about $50. High sale of $50. A near mint fair market value of $28. All right, it's a Harvey comic book from 1989. Black cover. That might be tough to get in high grade, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. That might be a good one to look for at your local comic book shop, although I don't know that there's a lot of Harvey comic books out there. Another failed publisher that couldn't quite compete against the big two. Over time, there's just a catalog of those that just don't tend to make it. All right. So we're done with cover price. I'm done talking about that. Enough of that. Real quick, I'll show that book that Rafi is mentioning. There you go. The Art Adams, Wolverine number 42, the 1 in 25. There you go. There's the Art Adams cover. Yeah, it's pretty good. So check with your local comic book shop. Maybe you can get a deal on that book. There's a few copies on eBay right now, but yeah, they're asking 3 times ratio. I'd probably not quite 3 times, 2.5 times. I might wait on that. I talked about it. I don't know if I mentioned this book before. Moon Knight number 30. I'm supposed to get this book in the mail soon. This is the 1 in 200. What do they call that? Hidden gem. I think they call it a hidden gem variant. So a reason I bought this is I found it for right at ratio pricing, right at $200, and I noticed eBay was pretty high. I mean, right, 400, 500. There's one here for $316. That's the cheapest, but there's only 3 copies for sale on eBay. That's pretty low. That book just came out last week. I was expecting to see more listings on eBay. Maybe there'll be more that show up, but right now, that looks like a pretty low amount on eBay at the moment. So I'm a Sienkiewicz fan. I mean, I like most of his covers. This one just looked really interesting. So I took a little bit of a gamble. I don't normally buy 1 in 200 ratio books. I mean, I've been known to do it, but it should be a pretty rare book. I mean, I can't imagine a lot of shops ordering 200 copies of an issue 30 of Moon Knight. I don't think Moon Knight sells all that well. So we'll see. Maybe long term, I'm trying to play the long game on that. Maybe 10 years, 20 years from now, people will be like, oh man, this book, it's so hard to find. You know, maybe it goes for thousands. Who the hell knows? I'm going to buy it, put it into my light, not touch it, and throw it in a box. And we'll see what happens. So it's just a cool looking cover. I kind of dig it. I don't know. Another book, let me check it real quick. I didn't see any copies for sale on eBay. This book's coming out next week. I mentioned it yesterday in my new Comic Book Day video. It's a nice Nakayama cover. Spider-Woman, issue number 2, the 1 in 100 Virgin. And no copies still for sale on eBay. Look at that. Amazing. No copies for sale. Midtown, as of this morning, still had a copy available for $112. That was the cheapest price I found. Graham Crackers had it for $150, which I thought was too much. Remember, this is a 1 in 100, so you want to buy it as close to ratio pricing as possible. Let me see if Graham Crackers sold that book out. They might have. No, they still have it for $150. Yeah, that's just too much. I mean, it's a good cover. Let me try to find a picture of. They don't even have a picture of it. I gotta put in Nakayama. Let me just put in Nakayama. Yeah, so it's basically this cover, Virgin, without the trade dress. But notice there's none for sale on eBay. So I find that, and there wasn't yesterday either when I was checking. So I think the last copy that was for sale was several days ago. Let's see here. December 5th, there was one that sold for $200. Way back in October 6th, someone purchased one for $180. And then there was a sale on November 12th of $140. That's it. 3 sales. Just 3 copies have sold on eBay. I mean, it's gonna make everyone's hot 10 list. It's probably one of the best Nakayama covers I've ever seen. I mean, I think he's a good artist. I like other artists better. I like Friesen better than Nakayama, but yeah, that cover is it's fantastic. And again, Spider-Woman, that's not a title that gets ordered very often. Most shops are not going to order heavily on a Spider-Woman cover because they know they're going to sit on all those issues for years and years. So it should be a pretty damn rare book. The fact that there's only been 3 copies that have sold since October on a pre-order basis, basically. It's pretty interesting. So we'll have to watch that book. I'm going to keep that book. It's one of the best covers, I think, of 2023. I like it. I mean, it might be my favorite Nakayama cover this year. He does a bunch of good ones. That one I think is awesome, though. I like that. The other book that I mentioned yesterday that's pretty hot is that Green Arrow. And I see other channels are talking about it now. Green Arrow, number 7, the 1 in 25. Is it Anacleto? Anaslito? I don't know. How do you fucking say his name? I pronounce it Anacleto. I don't know. But if you look on sold listings, December 21st, there was one sale for $35 plus shipping. It looks like they took a little less, maybe. They still have copies for sale on eBay, or not eBay, Midtown for $31. I picked up a couple copies. I definitely see this book sustaining a $40 to $50 level. It's an awesome cover. Again, the cover is by what's his name? Is Sean Izaski? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I can't pronounce anybody's damn name. I'm terrible at it. Someone here is saying it's Jay Ancletto. That's not, I believe that's not correct. I think it is Sean Zaski. So if you go on eBay right now, there's two listings. There's one asking $63 plus $15 shipping, and they're putting it as Jay Ancletto. And somebody else has it for $44 plus $20 shipping. So it's basically a $65 book. And they put down Sean Izaski. So I don't know. There's only 2 copies for sale on eBay, though. So I find that interesting. That should be on a CBSI or a Cover Price top 10 list in the next week. Mark my words, that will be on a list. I could bet you money on that. It's just an awesome cover. A hot chick on a bike always tends to work well. I don't know. It's been a good formula. So that one, I think that one's going to be a book that a lot of people are going to look for. What about this Deadly? I think I mentioned this yesterday too. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. Number 1, the Aja cover. Yeah, I love the David Aja cover. Still can buy it. You still can buy it for cover price plus shipping. I love it. I think it's once in a while an Aja cover just really does well. I think this one, the coloring is fantastic. The layout's awesome. I can see that being an iconic cover where people pay money just because of the cover for that book. And there's issue 2. I like I'm probably going to collect these Aja covers. I like them. I like that there's Spider-Man on that cover. I think issue 3 is also going to have Spider-Man on the cover, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, right there. Issue 3. So I intend to collect these A covers, which I'm glad they're A covers. They're not incentive covers. I can pre-order them. I can get them cheaper. That's what I intend to do. But I like that. I like that cover a lot. Yeah, that works for me. The other book I want to talk about is Warhammer Monthly number 0. This is the first appearance of Warhammer, of the Warhammer universe. Remember, this is another title that Henry Cavill is attached to. And I've talked about it in the past, probably a while ago, though. I haven't mentioned this book in a long time. But Henry Cavill is a huge, huge Warhammer fan. He collects and plays the game, the game. He's got all the game pieces. He builds huge sets. I don't know if you got there are YouTube videos of him promoting Warhammer and showing his sets that he's built. This was a book. This was a free preview insert that was given out to people in the UK. So when you buy this, most of the sales are going to be in the UK. I have a raw copy that's in really high grade. Probably, obviously, if I was looking to sell it, the time to sell it would be right when that trailer drops with Henry Cavill in it. I think that this Warhammer number 0, this Warhammer Monthly number 0 could be a super hot book. 9/8 are really tough to get because it's a very thin, it's like a 7-page preview. It's very, very thin, which means it's easily damaged. Remember, there's 2 types of books. Really thick books get damaged easily, and really, really thin ash can, only a couple pages, they get damaged easily as well. So if you look on eBay right now, there's one 9/8 CGC copy for sale for $1,000. And then there's a one raw copy for basically $60 with shipping. And if you look at the copy of it, it's definitely not a high grade copy. I would say it's maybe high mid grade, but it's definitely not a high grade copy. But that's one that I would put that as a saved favorite on your eBay. If you have I know a lot of people do that. There are certain books that you're looking to acquire, you want to save that listing so that any new listings that pop up, you'll get an email reminder. Um, Maybe someone out there will list a really high grade copy. It took me about 3 to 4 months to find my high grade copy. I did not ever find a good deal on a graded copy. I think that guy that's asking $1,000 for his 9.8, he was asking that months and months and months ago when I bought my raw copy. So I think I paid about $80 for my raw copy, 80, 85. It came from the UK. Luckily the guy shipped it really well. It came in really good shape. As far as I could tell, it looks like a 9.6 or a 9.8, one of the two. Uh, Really nothing wrong with the book, but yeah, that's just a tough book to find in high grade. And if that Warhammer does come about, if you do see um, that trailer drop, this book's going to be, it's going to go crazy. That $1,000 book that will sell. That'll be gone. Guarantee that. GTK Comics says I want to submit my Punisher #1s for grading, but they need a pressing. I get conflicting opinions regarding CGC pressing. Some say yes, some say no way. Confusing. Yeah, I don't have enough experience with it. I know some people say that if you have CGC press it, that they tend to grade a little better. They shouldn't do that. Obviously, that's kind of sounds more like bribery to me. Hey, I'll pay extra money for you to press it. Can you grade it higher for me? Oh yeah, sure. We'll give you a higher grade. Sounds like it's on the verge of bribery there, but um, there's some people out there that are really, really good at pressing books. I mean, it is an art form. I think I think if you want to start learning how to press books, you have to buy an expensive press. I think they're anywhere from $400 to $500 for a good one. And then, you just want to practice on, go to the dollar bin, go to your comic book store and buy the dollar bin books that look a little damaged, that definitely need a pressing, and just experiment, just try your hand at it. Or if you know somebody that is referred to you as a very, very good presser of comic books, that's also a good resource. Um, yeah, I wish I had more information for you on that, but yeah, it's one of those things you're just going to have to figure out on your own, I guess, right? So Warhammer #0. There's also a Warhammer, was it 40,000 #1? Yeah, there's an E.M. Gist cover. It's been around $80 to $100. There's not too many copies of that for sale, right? There's only one. I see one on eBay right now. Warhammer Sisters of Battle. I think I have some of these issues. I got to go through my collection of Warhammer and see what I've got. Just kind of take an assessment of my Warhammer series. But yeah, it sounds cool. I mean, I think that movie, Cavill doesn't tend to get behind anything that doesn't do fairly well. I think he left The Witcher because the writing changed on it, and it went kind of downhill. And I think he made a smart move by getting out of that project. He was good in that role, but I think he saw what was coming, and I think he was smart to jump off that wild train that was going down into the ravine. So I think he was smart to get out of that. GTK Comics says I got a few replies claiming that if you submit with CGC and pay for pressing, you get a higher grade. Some books pressed by non-CGC grading company get lower grades. Your opinion? Yeah, I would tend to think if you're paying extra money to CGC, I would imagine there's some positive influence and your grade, their grade that they're going to give you. Remember, grading is very subjective. It's not done by a robot. It's not done by AI. It's done by a human being. Human beings make mistakes. Uh, Books get graded incorrectly all the time. I mean, there's countless YouTube videos of people submitting the same book 3 or 4 times to CGC and getting back 3 or 4 different grades. So that, that's the problem with grading. If you're looking for exactness, you're not going to get it. It's just the way it is. I mean, people submit books all the time. Oh, I think this is a 9.8, comes back a 9.6, comes back a 9.4. You just can't predict it. It's just a roll of the dice, and that's the way you need to view it. Yeah. I wish I had more information for you than that, but yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. That's why I'm not a huge proponent of grading. I mean, I like to have a lot of my books raw. I mean, here's a nice X-Men book I bought recently. It's not perfect, but man, when you look at it in the My Light, there's no glaring spine ticks. There's no creases on the cover. There's no chunks missing out of it. It doesn't look like your dog chewed on it. It just really looks clean. It looks very, very close to a brand new book off the shelf. And I know it's not. I mean, a grading company would look at this and they would look really closely at it and see, oh, I see a tiny little color breaking tick there. It's very minute. You could barely see it. So they would probably give it a 9.2, 9.4, anywhere from a 9 to a 9.4. But it presents so well. And I look for really nice raw copies of books that I want to have in my collection. And if I'm happy looking at them, I got it in a My Light and I look at that book, the colors stand out. It just looks so clean. I know it's not a 9.8. I know it's not completely perfect, but to me, it just gives me a good feeling that this is a really good, clean, high grade copy. So that's kind of what I do when I look at books, especially older books. Some of the X-Men books I have from the 70s. I don't expect them to be perfect. A flaw here and there is fine. But I like the colors to be dynamic. I don't want any big creases that stand out. I don't want any chunks of the book missing. I want it to be a complete book. I want it to look really close to what it would have looked like had I bought it off the rack at a newsstand back in 1975. That's just I've got some examples up here. Like here's a nice one. This is this was a good one. I got a good deal on this book too. This one's so clean too. This is X-Men number 129. First Kitty Pryde. What is it? There's 2 first appearances in this. Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. I think Emma Frost's first appearances in this book too, if I'm not mistaken. Just an awesome book, and it's such a clean copy. It's a direct edition, which is a little bit more rare than the newsstand. 1979 is when this book came out. There's no spine ticks on it. It probably needs, if I was going to get this graded, I probably would get it pressed. There's maybe a couple little surface dents that are very minute that probably could press out really easy. But again, this book, when I look at it, it just makes me feel good because it looks so clean. There's nothing about it that just distracts me. The condition of the book just looks really, really nice. So that's one of the reasons I like to buy raw copies. I like to get high grade raw copies as high as I can get without paying crazy, crazy money. And I think at the time, I paid around $120 for this book, probably 4 years ago. So it goes for about 3 times that now, at least, especially in this grade. Just a nice copy. And I love these X-Men books, man. That John Byrne and Chris Claremont run back then. Oh, so good. I think I've showed this book off recently. This is the First Dazzler, this is another one. Just a super high grade copy. This one, legitimately, when I look at it, there's like nothing wrong. I mean, this thing, I'd be shocked if it didn't get a 9.8 or a 9, at least a 9.6. It's so clean. It's such a nice copy. I mean, it looks really mint. No spine ticks, no creases. I mean, it's just a nice copy. But again, I don't want to grade these because I don't want to sell them, because I hate that idea of I'm going to sell this book and then I've got to replace it. I got to find another copy eventually. I mean, this is a book I'm going to always want to have, and I'm happy owning it in a MyLite and having it in nice graded format. It doesn't need to be in a slab for me to be, some people just like all their books to be in slabs, and I understand that. If you want to spend the money to have it sealed in a CGC slab, by all means, go for it. You want to spend that extra money? That's perfectly acceptable. For me, I'm happy just having them in a MyLite, and if I was ever going to sell them, maybe I would grade them. But yeah, I'm okay with keeping them in a MyLite too. So, all right, guys, I wanted to kind of go over pre-orders. Yeah, maybe I should do that. It's 9:30. I haven't gone long term in a while, so let's do it. I use CBC at DCB service. That's who I typically use for my pre-orders. So if I go to DC Comics, and I'm kind of a cover guy, I kind of look at the covers. If the cover really looks good to me, I'll grab it. Batman 142, Chip Zdarsky. I mean, this is one of those books that I pick up every month, mainly just because I'm just going to do it. I like Batman. I like Chip Zdarsky, and I'm pretty much going to pick up every issue, at least the A cover. So A cover for 142 by Camuncoli. There's a couple other covers there mentioned as well. For 143, I kind of like the Putri cover, the Yasmin Putri cover. Got the Joker on there. I kind of like that one. Camuncoli cover's not bad either. But I think for me, I'm going to grab the Putri cover for that issue. Batman 144, I like the Raza cover. So that's the one I'm going to pick. Remember, it's good to pre-order your books. DCBS service, I only pre-order the regular books, the A or B covers. I'd never pre-order any of the incentive covers because look how much they jacked them up. Batman 144, 1 in 25 by Scalera. That's a nice cover. But look how much they ask for that, $75. It's just absolutely crazy. I like that cover though. That's definitely a cover I'm interested in pre-ordering, but I'm not going to pay more than $25. So I'm not going to be pre-ordering it through DCBS service. I'm only going to pre-order basically A or B covers because you get your discount, you get your 36 or 40% discount. DC, you get 40% off. Marvel, it's 36%. Most of the independents, it's around 40%. This cover looks kind of cool. That is by Hayden Sherman. That's kind of neat. I like that. Got the architectural background of the skyscrapers, and then you can see the little Batman flying between the buildings. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I like that. But again, it's a 1 in 25. I'm not going to pay $62.50 for that. No way. I probably, some of these books I might wait for Midtown and pay what, $13.50. Isn't that a, just imagine, there's a lot of Midtown books, 1 in 25s that sell for $13.50. So I'm going to take my chances unless there's a cover I just absolutely fall in love with. The most I'm going to pay is $25 if I really love the cover. If I like it, but I'm not really in love with it, I'm going to wait until Midtown has it for sale and try to pick it up for obviously way below ratio if I can. All right. Another book I'm interested in is Batman City of Madness, #3. Yeah, that Christian Ward cover is fantastic. 40% off. Remember, these are black label books, oversized, magazine sized. Notice how much they want for the 1 in 25. Obviously, this 1 in 25 is hot because look how they've jacked it up to 87.50. We saw the other one, 1 in 25's, that with the skyscraper, that one was only 67, and here they want 87 for a 1 in 25. Again, I love that cover. I pre-ordered that through another website at ratio pricing, so I was willing to pay $25 for that, but not more than that. But 87.50, heck no, that's crazy. There's no way I'm going to pay that. All right. Let me go through some of these. I'm going to show you the ones. Oh, this is another one that I'm pre-ordering. I don't collect this series at all, but man, I love Mattina covers, and that one is fantastic. Batman, The Brave and the Bold, #10. That is the Mattina cover. It's a B cover. So again, you get the 40% off. Don't pay $8 at your local comic book shop. Pre-order it for $4.79. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? So that's one I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering. What else we got here? I thought about this one. It's okay. I do like a red cover. I'm a little on the fence on this one. I don't think I pre-ordered any Catwoman books. Detective 1082. There's the Federici cover. Batman on the horse. It's kind of a cool cover. I'm on the fence on that one. I'm not too sure if I'm going to pick that one up or not. The Frankenvillia cover looks kind of interesting as well. Yep. That looks interesting. I'm on the fence on that one too. Man, look at this Stokey cover. Look at the detail on that. It's crazy. Oh man, how long did that take to draw? It's just cool. I like all that detail. All right, let me go down the list here. Yeah, I like this cover. I don't read Green Lantern regularly, but that Raza cover is fantastic. I mean, bathing in that green light, I love it. That's definitely one I want to add to the pre-order list. I love that cover. Total cover buy. I'll read it, of course. I don't know if it'll be any good reading, but I'm going to pick up that cover for sure. Here's another one, total cover buy. I love that Jock cover. I mean, look at that damn cover. How can you not like this one? That cover is fantastic. So that's another one I'm picking up. I think we're getting near the end. Remember, I don't pre-order a lot of DC books. Here and there, but not a lot. This is another one I'll pick up just because I am a fan of Mattina and I do like this cover. This is Penguin #7, the B cover. Poison Ivy, Nakayama. It's okay. I might try to get a deal on the. I'm pretty sure he'll be doing a 1 in 50. There'll be a Nakayama Virgin style of that for 1 in 50. You won't find that on DCBS. They only go to a 1 in 25. They never list their 1 in 50 books. So unfortunately, that will not show up for pre-order. And if they did, it would probably be like $100 anyways. So way too much money. Oh, they got a special discount on Red Hood the Hill #1, Sanford green cover, $2 only. I think we're almost done with DC. Got Superman #11. There is the Bermejo cover. I don't know. Superman looks a little too wrinkled there. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. There's the Warren Lau cover. One's kind of interesting. Ariel Diaz. Ariel Diaz has been pretty popular. That definitely looks like a romance novel cover, right? Where they always got the good-looking man with the woman with the open chest. The shirt is always open. Oh man, it's so funny. I think that might be it from DC that I thought was interesting. Wonder Woman. I don't know. Do I want to pick up Wonder Woman? There's the Sampry cover. I don't know what she's doing there. Tedesco. That one's okay. Man, remember when those Jenny Frison covers, Wonder Woman Jenny Frison covers? Oh, those were so good. Those were the days, man. All right. Marvel Comics. The problem with Marvel is you don't get to see a lot of the covers. And I don't pick up a lot of Marvel books, to be honest. Especially with pre-orders. I just don't, because man, the writing is so terrible at Marvel. I mean, the writing is not great at DC either. Yeah, I can't remember if there was any. Yeah, okay, I'm going to order this Deadly Hands of Kung Fu because I like that David Aja artwork, so I am going to pre-order that. So that's one I want to make sure I grab. But you know, this is the problem with like Ghost Rider. I can't see the covers. I know what some of the artists, Greg Capullo, Mark Texeria, the regular A cover, I don't know who the artist is. Maybe it's Berens. I don't know though. So I'm not going to pre-order something I'm not sure of, and I can't see the cover. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. You know, if it was a title that I was reading regularly, there's not really a Marvel title. I was reading Daredevil regularly until Zdarsky left, and now I'm just, yeah. I mean, Marvel, I don't know what to say about it. It's just there's not a lot of books that I grab regularly from Marvel anymore. Just pre-order maybe 1 or 2 books. That's it. It's kind of sad. I don't know. Predator versus Predator #1. I don't know. I can't see the Medina cover. I'm going to wait on that. How many Predator #1s do we need? Sentry. Can't see any of the Spider-Man covers. Spider-Boy, I only get to see 2 of those. Spider-Gwen Smash #3, I get to see the Nakayama cover. That one's okay. That one looks okay. The other 2 I don't get to see. Spider-Punk #1, I only can see the 1 cover. That's the Copio cover. I think there will be a Osaka Takashi Okazaki cover. Pretty sure there will be. But again, I don't order a lot of Marvel books. I just can't see the covers, and you know, Yeah, we'll see what happens. Star Wars Thrawn Alliances. I think I'm going to be picking up that series, especially the Raza cover. I can't see the Raza cover, but I have a lot of faith in Raza covers, so I'm just going to go ahead and pre-order it. So yeah, I've got what, 2 Marvel books so far. That's it for pre-orders. What's this cover here? Moon Knight. It's kind of cool. I'm on the fence on that one. I don't know. I'll revisit that. But for right now, I'm going to skip it. What If Venom #1s. Again, I can't see the covers. Some of the artists aren't even mentioned, cover artists. White Widow, the Rose Besh cover. That one looks pretty cool. I did pre-order the one in 50s. I pre-ordered 2 of them. That cover is probably going to do well. A lot of Rose Besh fans out there. Wolverine 43. And I don't know if I want to pick any of those up. That's it. That's it from Marvel. So I only pre-ordered maybe 3 copies. Not a lot. Image. I don't think there was any Image that I was really looking to pre-order. I mean, I kind of like that cover. That's probably one I'm going to pre-order. That's a Christian Ward cover. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I like that. So let's pre-order that one. Creep Show. Deviant. I do like Deviant. I'm going to pre-order the A covers on that one. That is a James Tynion production. That one should be a good read. So that's basically picking up the A covers on that for the floppy read on that. I like this Haunted Girl #1. This is a Gist cover. That's an awesome cover. To me, that's a no-brainer ordering that one. So I'm definitely going to pick that one up. Infernals #1. I like this cover by Cormac. That one looks pretty cool. I'm going to pre-order that. The 1 in 10 by Lotte, they're asking $20. I'm going to wait on that. I believe I pre-ordered that one already, the Christian Ward cover. That's an awesome cover. I pre-ordered it for $15 though, not 30. So again, I don't really ever pre-order stuff through DCBS service if it's an incentive cover because they basically jack the price up too much. But I love that cover by Ward. I love that cover. That's so good. So yeah, I'm actually picking up quite a few Image books, more than I remember. I remember going through this. I think that might be it there. Oh, Spawn. Yeah, I pre-ordered the Spawn covers A and B. They're so cheap, $1.79. You can't go wrong doing that. Scorched. I do like this Barin's cover. I'm going to pre-order that one. World Tree. Typically pull the A covers on that. There is a 1 in 10 by Fiorima. I'd like to see what that one looks like. I'm going to wait on that. I might end up grabbing that down the road from somewhere else. That does it for Image. AWA, I didn't see anything. Boom Studios. I can't remember if there was anything from Boom Studios. There might be one book. Let's see here. Go back. What was that cover? It's a 15. Yeah, that cover looks pretty cool. Ariel Olivetti. That one's kind of nice. As a 1 in 5 copy. I think I can get a better price than $12 for that though. All right, let me get through this. All right, that does it for Image. I think that was it that I wanted from Image. Dark Horse, I can't remember if there's anything from Dark Horse. Not a whole lot from Dark Horse next month. I don't know. Dawn Runner #1. That looks like a nice cover. That totally looks like a Lotte cover, but it doesn't say that it is, but it looks like a Lotte cover to me. Yeah. Satan Swarm. That's it. Yeah, there wasn't much from them. Dynamite Entertainment. Here and there, I think I pre-ordered this one. This is the 20 copy by Sager. Yeah, I love that cover. Alice Cooper. Looks like he's dancing with the devil. That's an awesome cover. I pre-ordered that for $20 though, not 50. So that was definitely one that I already pre-ordered. I just think that cover is fantastic. I don't think there was really any other books though. Oh, I did pre-order this one. I got it for $15. That is the Cruella de Vil. I love that Swaby cover. That one's going to be fire. I think that one's going to do well. I have a feeling, just a little feeling on that one. Again, some of these covers you can't see. They don't have the art yet. Kind of makes it difficult to determine if you want to get something if you can't see the art. Hey, covers sell, man. I don't know. I don't care what anyone says. They always have. A great cover will sell a comic book. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I think this is another cover I like. Nicoletta Bellardi. I like her style of art. I like that cover. Lilo and Stitch. So that is one that I like. There is a 1 in 15 copy of that book, of that cover. I think I pre-ordered that one already too. All right, we're almost done. I'm about ready to call it a night. Yeah, I'm getting old. Man, I would love to have that original cover. This was a book. I think this was a Red Sonja 2014, 2015, that Red Sonja run where Friesen did all the B covers and then they did limited virgin copies directly from Dynamite, and there were only 50 made. They actually came with a certificate of like a certificate of authenticity with them. That book, there's a copy for sale on eBay right now of that book, the original Virgin, for $1,500. So it's a little too rich for my blood, but man, I love that cover. That's one of the best Friesen covers. That white cover, just yeah, it's fantastic. So the Modern Icon version, you can get basically a reprint of that for much cheaper. It's probably the way to go. I think that might be it. Thundercats #1 will be out. Bunch of covers on that one. I vaguely remember that cartoon when it came out. They had action figures as well. I don't think I ever collected any of it. I may have watched the cartoon a few times when I was a kid, but yeah, that's definitely an 80s cartoon for sure. IDW, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the A and B cover on that. Again, I like that series. I think it's just very well written so far. It held my attention. I got to tell you that. There's very few comic books that hold my attention all the way through, and that book did exactly that. So again, I can't recommend that series high enough. So I would definitely check that out. Again, we're looking at IDW books, some Star Trek books, Turtle books. I think that was it. Scout, I don't really buy. Vault, I don't think there was anything from Vault that I was interested in. They only have a couple books coming out anyways. Other is just basically any other independent book. Yeah, I can't remember if there was anything in particular. I'll have to go through it again and look, but I think that's it, guys. That's my pre-orders. That's kind of the books I'm looking for. For the cutoff, I think, is this week, the end of this week for DCBS service. So if you're thinking about doing your pre-orders through them, I think you have to get that in by Friday. Other than that, I think that's it. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight and kind of highlight and show. So I appreciate everybody that's hung with me and watched this live stream. I know many of you are going to watch it recorded later. I appreciate all of you that subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you are still subscribed to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Please like and share the video. Leave a comment. I read all the comments, and also make sure you're subscribed to me on Instagram under Justice for Comics. I post quite a bit on there. You know, new books that I get, I'll sometimes post those throughout the week. So, you know, probably 3 to 4 times a week, I am posting on Instagram. So check that out. Feel free to DM me on there if you ever want to ask me a question. I'm more than happy to do that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this Thursday evening. I might do a Saturday video highlighting the CBSI Hot 10 list. Probably going to do that sometime on Saturday, maybe Saturday morning. I don't have any plans Saturday morning. So look for that. And then other than that, if I don't see you guys till then, have a great Christmas, a great holiday, a great Hanukkah, a great holiday season. I appreciate everybody that continues to follow me and listen to my little channel that discusses comic books. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon.